So you've been trying things, you've been doing the diastasis recti core workouts, but for some reason that diastasis recti is still not going away and you're struggling. And you've been struggling for months maybe. And you still don't know why is the diastasis recti not healing? Well, this video is for you, and please watch till the end because I will uncover a couple of reasons why is your diastasis recti still not healing, even if you are doing the core exercises. My name is Szilvia and I'm a pre- and postnatal trainer. I experienced diastasis recti myself twice. I used my own recovery and healing method to heal my diastasis recti and my pelvic floor dysfunction. When I had my second pregnancy, I already experienced the pelvic floor dysfunction during the pregnancy, which was quite difficult to take on during the time, but with education and with targeted exercises and with purpose and with consistency, and I was able to reverse that pelvic floor dysfunction and my diastasis recti as well. So by the 6-week checkup mark, I was already like, oh, thank God. This one is gone, because pelvic dysfunction is even worse for me than a diastasis recti. So what could be the reason why you are not seeing results of your workouts or of your diastasis recti plan for so long? I'm not sure how long. Let me know in the comments how long it's been for you. So the real reasons behind the diastasis recti or why it's not improving is usually the breathing, misalignment, and daily habits. So this is where it lies. It's not only the workouts that you have to focus on, because that's about 5% of your total day, of your 24 hours. If you are doing like a 10 or 15-minute workout or even half an hour for your core, and I guess not even every day, that's only like 5% of everything, of the 100% that it all comes together to heal diastasis recti. That 5-10 minutes workout that you may do, it's not everything, and this is not where the results lie for everyone. Maybe there are some lucky ones, for them is enough just to do the exercises and they repair super fast, but for the majority, the success lies in the other 95% of your day, a part of the workouts that you are doing, and that's a breathing, misalignment, and the daily habits. I've been educating, I've been posting lots of videos about the 360-degree breathing. This is the core canister pump, which means the core and the pelvic floor have to work together, and it's sort of like a pump. When you are doing the breathing technique correctly, you inhale through the nose and you exhale through the mouth, and during the inhale, you take a deep inhale, you feel your diaphragm, the rib cage around, and then eventually you let the belly fill as well slightly. This is not the focus where it should be. The focus should be in the rib cage to fill with air. And on the exhale and on the inhale, everything relaxes, core relaxes, pelvic floor relaxes, and on the exhale, everything contracts and it feels like you are zipping up a hoodie. I will link you my video to learn this breathing technique, because this is very important, and this is where it comes, where it starts actually your recovery. This is where it has to start, because this is the activation of the deep core muscle that will help you actually get the gap closer together. And also, if you have a squishy belly when you are checking yourself for diastasis and you feel that squishiness, the softness in the tissue, that's also a sign of a weak core. So this is the breathing technique that will activate your deep core and help you get stronger there. Of course, as I mentioned, the success does not just lie in the exercises that you do daily or a couple times a week, but because that's just like a 5% of the total healing. It also lies into different things that you're doing during the day. For example, to make sure that you are not doing other workouts that may even make your separations worse. HIIT training, running, these trainings might be too impactful, too high impact for your diastasis recti, because if you are bouncing and your ab is bouncing as well, you are not holding your core properly, putting too high impact on your abdomen, on your body, while it's not healed yet, it can actually worsen your separation or your weak core further instead of healing it and helping. So it can be a disadvantage. I rather ask you to do low impact exercises, strength training with low impact, not putting too high impact on your core, on your abdomen, until you see actually at least some progress in the ab separation closing together, or the ab is getting firmer or the tissue getting firmer there, where the separation is. So you have to stop doing like the high impact movements, the running, crunches, planks, high intensity interval training, jumping. These put more pressure, V-sit, or even mountain climbers. So everything that is too runny or jumpy, everything that is like in a plank form or a crunch form, because these will encourage your doming and coning together. And diastasis recti is all about managing that pressure in your abdomen. So whenever you feel you cone, you dome, you have that coning shape in your belly, you have to stop the movement, you have to modify it for yourself. Or when you feel leaking urine, you have to modify those movements. You can't keep doing them. Another factor is managing your pressure during exercise and also managing the pressure during your day-to-day life. There are things that can actually worsen your separation, things that you do in your day-to-day life, and maybe you are not paying attention enough what you are doing or how you are doing, how you're approaching things. And these very things can actually make things worse, like your posture. Maybe you are not having a right posture, straight sit-up posture during the day, but you are rounding, which can also add rounding shoulder and bulging belly more. Also when you're lying down, when you get out of bed, you have to roll on the side and get up like that, and not just come up straight away how you lie on your back, because that will also add the coning pressure on your belly. When you lift something, you have to learn to lift safely, including your children, your groceries. If you sneeze or cough and you are leaking, you have to learn to control that leaking and contract or engage your pelvic floor and your core during those movements. Same with lifting, picking up your kids, picking up things from the ground. You have to learn to manage the pressure of when the abdomen is bulging out or coning in those movements. You have to learn to manage that. So engage your core, engage your pelvic floor muscles when it's needed. One of the other things that happens to women a lot is on the toilet. I know this is a sensitive topic. Avoid bearing down on the toilet. Avoid pushing. We're not supposed to push on the toilet. We're supposed to control it with the breathing. And while you're sitting on the toilet, you're supposed to help with the breathing technique for everything to happen. So you have to relax your pelvic floor, and while you're on the toilet, you have to learn to separate your pelvic floor and TVA muscles, so the deep core muscles, from the pelvic floor. And while you are breathing in and also while you are breathing out, you have to let your pelvic floor muscles relax. And this will happen if you do those deep inhales and exhales. You will learn to control it, and it will happen naturally, so you will not have to push. Avoid also sucking in your belly, because sucking in is also, that's what people usually do when you just suck in your belly on the inhale. That's like a reverse breathing, is like a reverse core engagement. You suck it in on the inhale instead of engaging the core on the exhale, what we do with the breathing technique. So this is also a reverse pressure applied to the abdomen. These things you all have to stop in order to heal your diastasis recti. So you have to pay attention to these things during your everyday life, because these are big factors to why your diastasis recti is not healing. Also, the posture is another very important one. We all know that you can have your posture a bit rounded forward or backwards. Your pelvic, you could have a posterior anterior pelvic tilt. You have to make sure that you have a natural alignment in your posture in your day-to-day. When you walk, when you sit down on the couch, or when you sit down to work, when you lift your kids, try to make sure that you're not lifting the kids with rounded shoulders. You're not lifting your kids with rounded shoulders, but with a neutral alignment. So the posture has also a very big impact in the whole thing, because if you are holding yourself badly during the whole day in every activity that you do, you will slow your own healing. I know the posture can be a difficult one, because it's also for me, and if I don't pay attention myself, I can also just slip and either I push my belly out or clench my glutes or something. But this is something that we have to actively pay attention to, and if you cannot, you can do some posture exercises. I have also a video here that you can try do for your posture on a daily basis. Different exercises for chest, for shoulders, just to align yourself into a neutral position. This can be stretches or other just aligning exercises to align yourself back into the posture. It's also advised to take frequent breaks during the day and just remind yourself that you have your posture to pay attention to. Also, you have to understand what I mentioned before with the breathing. Breathing is also a very important part to learn to breathe correctly, not from the chest, but with the 360 diaphragmatic breathing to activate the TV and the pelvic floor. So very important to understand that the pelvic floor is part of the core. These two, the transverse abdominis and a pelvic floor, they have to work together. So when you're doing exercises, when you're breathing, they always have to work together. You can't ignore the pelvic floor either. You have to learn to activate the pelvic floor as well, just as much as the core. Just as much you learn to engage your core, you have to learn to engage your pelvic floor too. Because the two connected, and if your diastasis recti is not healing for a while, it can lead to a pelvic floor dysfunction as well, because the two are so much connected. And this is what happened to me as well, I think. I didn't heal first time around my diastasis that much. It didn't really bother me. My symptoms came mostly from my pelvic floor dysfunction, my prolapse, because these two are so connected. They work together. On the inhale, everything relaxes, and on the exhale, they both contract. This is how they work together in the core canister. So also when you do an exercise and your breathing is the same, they always work together, and you have to learn this connection in order to heal everything properly. And last but not least, don't rush your progress. Don't rush your healing. Do not compare yourself to others, because some might heal in 4 to 6 weeks, and for some people maybe it takes 6 months. So you really cannot tell, because it's so different for everyone. For some, maybe just following these exercises will help so much, but maybe those people have perfect posture and they know how to work their pelvic floor and core together instantly from the beginning, or they have practiced this already during their pregnancy, and that's why they heal easier. Feeling your pelvic floor and core, it might take some time, especially when you are fresh out of birth. It will take some time, because first you might not even feel it. So by practice and by practicing this breathing technique, you will be able to feel your deep core and your pelvic floor. But it's very important to learn to connect those and work them together. I will also link you my videos to learn the breathing technique. And if you are interested in checking out my posture correction video with some posture exercises, let me know in the comments which is the hardest part for you in this healing process, and where are your struggles at, or where is your challenge? Where do you find a challenge in this healing process? So let me know in the comments. Thank you. Ciao.